I want to introduce you to a personal friend of mine. This is the M41A pulse rifle, 10 millimeter with over and under 30 millimeter pump action grenade launcher. Feel the weight. Look at this. It is, well, I was about to say it's finished. You know it's not finished. It is not finished by any means. I mean, you can even see probably from over there, there's a bunch of paint that isn't done yet. And that's just the base paint. This is just the base coat in the sort of neighborhood of the real colors. But I'm going to weather it and so on and so forth. So, no, it's not done. This isn't painted. So, no, it's not done. But it's done. I mean, it's the thing. Look at this. It's by far the biggest, in every way, basically, the biggest prop thing that I've ever done. And I am very happy and very proud. And of course, I want to share where I am at this point with you guys. About a year ago, or maybe a little bit more, I managed to get this little shop area of mine underway after wanting it for a while, including a 3D print station, which is over there, and I have an airbrush, and I have a Dremel. I got all the stuff together that I sort of wanted for a little like maker space, or whatever you want to call it, for myself here. And I immediately got overambitious. One of the first things I started doing was this huge project, of which some of it is in front of me here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Way over my head, and it's taken a lot of time to even get where I am, and there's a long way to go. Now, also a part of being overambitious, I wanted to document this project thoroughly, and I am way too new at this, all of the stuff that I'm doing, so I haven't been able to do that. I'm sort of trying so many things that I don't know if it's going to work, and I don't have the skill, or basically, to both try all of this stuff out, a lot of it for the first time, and also document it. So I'm just going to do a bit of a show and tell, like sort of maybe halfway through. The savvier movie prop buff people out there have some idea what I'm doing here. These bits, this is something else. These parts are already, they're like 3-part parts, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because they're way too big for my printer. Like I said, I was really ambitious from the get-go, but maybe you've recognized these. And if you haven't, it is a pulse rifle, marine pulse rifle from the movie Aliens. That's right. The first thing I did when I started 3D printing stuff was trying to build a full-size assault rifle from one of my favorite movies. And this is where I'm at. So let me just tell you what I did, or a little bit about it. Like I said, it's been taking a long time. First of all, I modeled all of this in SketchUp. I found a model which was like gesturally reasonably accurate, and then I remodeled the whole thing because I wanted to be able to handle the model, to do things with it, in order to slice and assemble and all of that for the printer, or for the printed objects. So I had to remodel it so that they were my SketchUp models, and then I printed them, and now I'm going to put them together. I basically have all the parts. Let me just show you a bit of it. The most recent thing I got pretty much home to where I want it is this is the shroud for the magazine. So the magazine goes in here. There's a bit of a print error here, but everything is going to get printed. Sorry. Everything is going to get painted. So minor print errors or irregularities, chatter, stuff like that, doesn't matter too much because I'm going to be sanding and priming and puttying and all that to get to where I'm going. I have the whole receiver. You can see I have sort of half of it here, like so. The back part is also my paint test, and I think it's going pretty well. It's something like this. I mean, it's by no means done, and I'm going to paint the whole thing again anyway. Maybe I'll even reprint this, but I wanted to see where I was with this sort of gunmetal. It's going to get weathered and yeah, but something like this. It's just really where I want to go. So this is the rear part of the receiver, and the front part of the receiver is right here, comes up like that, and it is again gesturally modeled after a Thompson machine gun, because that's what this prop weapon was built on. So gesturally it's built on that, and some of it won't be visible, so I haven't been that accurate with it. What I'm doing right now is gluing this together. I printed there's sort of like the barrel here, and then a sort of mechanism there. It's nothing moves on this. It's not mechanical in any way, but I wanted it to sort of look the part. So instead of just printing this solid, I printed a shell, and then there's a little bit of like a chamber thing in there, which is going to be visible inside here, because obviously all of this, these parts go inside here. Oops. So that I get. Actually, I can show you. It's not that hard. I wanted everything to be reasonably easy to assemble, so that I could do exactly what I'm doing right now, which is sort of clank it together and take it apart again to see and to try without breaking it. I didn't want stuff that was like you glue it together or you can't assemble it. Like if I just cut this flat and I could hold them up to each other, but they would only go together with glue. I didn't want that. So I wanted stuff that I could sort of go, yeah, I'm close enough, and keep going. So that's the receiver, the shroud, the magazine shroud. Obviously, there's a shotgun part, which I'm sure you remember. Well, I'm not sure you remember, but I'm sure if you're a prop buff, you do remember. There's a magazine, goes in here, and there are some clips in here that are gonna hold it in place, which I haven't mounted yet, but they're printed. They're back here. I can show you that in a moment as well. The shroud for the shotgun, once again, I sort of gesturally have a Remington shotgun in here, and then it goes together like this, and it kind of looks the part, right? And that obviously that goes on here with the shroud up top. And outside on that, I have this. Let me see. Goes on like so. The shotgun pump action from actually parts of, as far as I remember, parts of this is from a Francie, but the actual shotgun is a Remington. Not that it matters. The only thing that really mattered at the time, and also the only thing that really matters to me now, is that it's going to look cool. But anyway, that's that. I have a few final parts. The rest of the barrel, of course, I had to cut that because the barrel as a whole is longer than my printer allows. So there's an assembly there. There is obviously a pistol grip for that goes on the receiver there, and it does have a screw, but I think most of it is when it finally goes together, most of it will probably be glued, but it also has like these assemblies and screws, and these are glued now, but before I glued them they clicked together and so on. I have that. I have this part which goes on here, and the barrel obviously comes out into that. So this is so it comes out like this. See, you can probably see that I'm sort of I'm using this word a lot, but gesturally getting there. All the parts are here, and all I have to do now, listen to the arrogance of this guy. All I have to do now is assemble it, get it together. Like I said, I have these. There are these springy parts that hold the magazine on there. I printed those out. Not that they had to be a different color, because again, I'm painting everything. This was so that this could print flat off the bed of the printer without anything sticking out. And then this comes on after, and I glue this on to hold the magazine in place. As you can see, I have some glues over here because I have come to the part where I have started. Oh, by the way, the shoulder stock there comes on. Oops. Comes on. Oops. It where is it? There we go. Comes on there and it comes out the back, obviously. So yeah, I've started gluing things together. I did this bit which I thought was fairly clever. Again, trying to figure out how to get this to print reasonably easily without too much waste, without too much loss of interesting details. To print this comes off the print bed like that. And obviously there's the hole and the handle there. I could have just printed that so that all this was monolithic, but I wanted it to have a little bit of detail to it, which I'm hoping to preserve as I paint and sand and so on. I don't know if that will be possible, but anyway, what I did was I actually printed a part that goes in here because I wanted it to sort of feel like it was an inside part. So I built an inside part and I'm gluing it in. And for that, I'm using this. I have some glues over here, like I said. These are the glues I'm using for this. Well, first of all, there's regular. This is cyanoacrylate super glue. This is also super glue, but this is some the gel-like or thick stuff. This is thin, like watery, and I use them for different purposes. Like I used both of them for this because I wanted one in here. There's a little bit of the seal isn't entirely super tight, so I put some of the thick gel-like cyano in the middle, or CA glue, and on the sides here, instead of having to take it apart and force CA in there was sort of like a gap, which I just dripped a few drops of the thin stuff in, and it just runs down there because it goes everywhere. And in this case, I wanted it to go down there, so I just put two kinds of glue on this just to get these pieces together. And I'm not sure I need the clamps, but because it's supposed to be quick setting, but just in case. But the real super glue, even though that's what they call super glue, for me, what really is super is this one that I just discovered. It's, as you can see, it's called Combiflex 524 from Danish company Dana Glue. And it's amazing. It's sort of like a hybrid of glue and caulk. It dries into this rather pretty elastic, rubbery consistency, but it glues really well. It'll stick to almost anything, and it doesn't set like super quickly, so you have to keep the seams together. But once it sets, it is pretty strong but still flexible, and it can fill out if the seam isn't particularly tight or isn't super tight. So yeah, I like that very much. I used that for these seams here, gluing this together before sanding it, and it's going. I think it's going really well. Final little interesting thing I think it's interesting thing that I'm gonna share with you. You can see there's some it looks like putty or something like that. Well, it is putty actually. Because what happened was, during printing something went wrong and this hole was filled in, and I wanted it to be like this. These are in the actual prop. There's a screw here and here, so I wanted them to be visible. And something went wrong and this was filled in. So instead of printing a whole new part, I tried something which I think worked. It looks like it worked anyway. Which is that I actually drilled out a little bit, almost a little bit oversized. I just took like a countersink and drilled out, and then I got this plumber's epoxy, this two-component stuff that you knead together in two colors, and then it becomes a uniform color, and then it sets really quickly and it's very sticky. I got some of that and I just sort of squeezed and squashed it in here until it was pretty smooth, and then I got a feeling like that, I had a positive grip of it inside, and then I let it set, and it sets very hard and it is workable. You can sand it and drill it. So I did that, and now I've drilled out a countersunk hole that's sort of like that one, and I think it's going to work. I think it's going to be close enough anyway. So that's, one of those little things that you do when you mess up and then try to get past and muddle through it and get past your mistake without having to start all over again. So yeah, that was a sort of a little work in progress. Alrighty, so I have various glues and tools and clamps and stuff around me. I've replenished my glue supplies a little bit, and I have my assembly instructions here, which I wrote for myself a while back, and they're also kind of not totally correct, I think, but they will guide me. I will guide myself through using these, and I've sort of started a little bit off camera. When I decided that it was time to do this, I started off camera and I did a little of it. So you can see this is a part of the underslung shotgun thing there, and the mag housing here, which the magazine goes into. There's a pump grip for the thing here. I'm babbling. I think I should just get going here. According to the part of my assembly instructions here, which I think are correct, I've assembled this part, and now I should assemble it with this. That's what I need to put these together, because then they go inside the sort of. with a few exceptions, this is getting very close to a beauty shot. This is actually the whole thing. So that was it for the main event of gluing this together. I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased. This is going to be exciting to continue towards an actual finished, sort of finished prop. Yeah, okay, I have to be a little bit careful with that pump action. I don't know if you noticed that, because I did it a little bit too vigorously and I actually broke it. I had to fix it. One thing about, the feel the weight thing, it's actually a lot heavier than I anticipated. I thought that when I was projecting this or planning it, I thought that I'd have to put like lead shot inside of it or something so that it didn't feel like a toy. But obviously it's nowhere near as heavy as a real weapon, but it has heft. It doesn't feel like just a plastic toy. The paint job is just, you could call it temp or base, because it's sort of ish the right colors, but I'm going to do paint passes and weathering passes. I'll probably try to get a little bit closer to the brown bess. It's going to look used and so on and so forth. Yeah, I started this video with a lot of intent and now I don't know how to end it. Since the project isn't finished, these aren't exactly beauty shots, although I wouldn't call them ugly shots either. I'm just going to play you out with some of these details. You can see some of the stuff that I still need to work on, and some of it, if it looks like a mistake, it probably is. But I'll be fixing that later. And of course there's the whole weathering and all that I want to do. But so far I'm very happy with it. I'm also happy that you came along. So thanks for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.